What's up and welcome to SGPN's Daily Dog. This is your host, Britton Hess, and I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick'em plays for Thursday, August 1st, 2024. New month. Let's get a new streak going. Unfortunately, our show slip did not hit yesterday after hitting both on Monday and Tuesday, but we've already locked a winning week. Let's make some more money here today. And I will say, if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, D-A-I-L-Y-D-O-G, one word, for a $250 deposit match bonus or a 50% deposit match bonus depending on how much you put into the app. It's a great time to join Underdog because there's a ton of best ball leagues kicking off right now. If you're listening to the show, you're probably a sharper player. You're probably somebody who tries to make smart plays and tries to do your research before getting involved in making bets or wagers or putting your hard-earned money at risk. Right now on places like Underdog that offer daily fantasy and best ball specifically, there's a lot of normies, a lot of people who aren't paying much attention to the sports world that are getting involved in Underdog picks or getting involved in Underdog best ball NFL right now that are making horrible selections. They don't know values of running backs or wide receivers. They don't know when to draft a quarterback. You get lucky. You could be someone who's drafting Patrick Mahomes first overall, which if it was a real NFL draft, that would make a lot of sense. But in an NFL best ball, you probably do not want to do that. So sign up for Underdog with code DAILYDOG. Get some bonus play. Use that bonus play to start taking advantage of some of the squares that are hopping on Underdog right now in the best ball streets. I'll be putting out some more NFL content as the season approaches, but I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's August already. That means we got college football in 23 days. The Ireland game is coming up, so I am jacked to get some football plays out there. But in the meantime, we are sticking to what we've been doing for the most part of the last 44 episodes of this show, which is mostly baseball this time of year. I've mixed in a little tennis, but right now there's not anything that I like enough that I want to give out on this show because there's some plays that are okay in the middle of the night early morning that maybe I'll have on a personal slip, but I'm not going to put out there because you guys will not be able to get to them in time by the time you hear this show. So we're going into the Cubs-Cardinals rivalry for our first pick on this Underdog slip. The first pick is Sonny Gray to allow at least 5 hits versus the Cubs. There could be a weather delay in this one. I'm hoping we're not going to have this one rained out. Maybe it'll just be pushed back a little bit. But at this point, it's too early to know for sure what the weather is going to do. But Sonny Gray to allow 5+ hits. Let's just throw this out there real quick. He is allowed 5+ hits in 5 consecutive games. Higher than 5 hits in 5 consecutive games, I should say. He's played the Cubs twice this year. One of those games, he allowed 1 hit. More recently, he allowed 9 hits. Sonny Gray is awesome. He's a great pitcher, but he is not at the peak of his abilities at this moment. So I think this is a good chance for us to take advantage of this really low number. It's a flat multiplier at 5.0 hits allowed by Sonny Gray. I have a feeling by the time that this game gets going, that number is going to be higher. It's going to be 5.5, or it'll be juiced. You'll have a reduced multiplier on higher than 5.5 hits. This is a divisional game. A lot of these guys on the Cubs have seen Sonny Gray plenty, and a lot of them have good batting averages against Sonny Gray, including Ian Happ, which is why I also have Ian Happ on this slip to have higher than half of a total base. These are correlated, so their multiplier is reduced, but that's fine because I have a third pick that I'll get to shortly. But Ian Happ has a good average. He's got a good average against Sonny Gray. He's a leadoff hitter for this team. He gets most at bats on this team as that leadoff hitter, switch hitter. So no matter who comes in, he'll be able to find a matchup he likes once Sonny Gray is finally out of this game. So the first 2 plays are in the same game. Sonny Gray to allow higher than 5 hits, and Ian Happ to have higher than half of a total base against the Cardinals. Next, we're going to Jarred Kelenic, who's now no longer the leadoff hitter for the Braves, now that Jorge Soler is there. I am taking Jarred Kelenic to have higher than half of a total base against Max Meyer and the Marlins. Max Meyer has had a very short sample so far. At this point in the year, they might let him run a little bit longer. And if they do let him run a little bit longer, he will probably get hit a little bit more. Braves are in crunch time, and Marlins are in full, who gives a you-know-what mode. So I want to take advantage of Kelenic. His batting average is actually higher when he's not batting leadoff. He's obviously not having the greatest year. His average is like the 230s, but it does go low 230s, I should say. But it goes up a little bit when he's moved out of that leadoff spot. and he should be batting 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that range in this game against the Marlins. So I'm happy to take this half a total base. Again, he's he is a contact guy. He can also hit for power, and he's playing against a team that has a potentially maybe one day will be good, but not that good right now pitcher in Max Meyer. And the Marlins also dished a bunch of their pen, so who knows who's going to be rolling out of that bullpen when this game gets going. So these three plays together, which are Sonny Gray to allow higher than 5.0 hits, Jarred Kelenic higher than half a total base, and Ian Happ higher than half a total base, come together for a 3.18x multiplier. So if you put these three together, you put $10, you can win 3180, but 100 you win 318, whatever you are comfortable with. Bet whatever you can afford to lose is what I always say. So that is it. And again, you're thinking, wow, this is a 3-pick slip, but it's only 3.18x multiplier. That is because obviously Ian Happ is correlated to Sonny Gray for the most part. If he gets a hit in the first inning, we're chipping away at our 5 hits needed by Gray, and Happ gets his total bases over for us. And I also wanted to say, I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I put up a tweet on Twitter at Brittonhess, BRITTONHESS, just tracking these new batters on their new teams. I tracked 21 guys who've been traded in the last week or so who have had at least one start with their new teams. 16 of those 21 have 1+ hits in their first game with the new team. 12 of 21 had 2+ HRRs, and 5 of 21 had 2.5 or higher than 1.5 total bases. So there's a little bit of a little uptick in productivity when you're on your new team. In game 2, though, it really took off with higher than 1.5 hit runs and RBIs is 9 of 11 guys who played 2 starts with their new team, and 7 of those 11 guys had 2+ total bases. In game 3, there's only been 3 guys so far, so obviously a very small sample size, but 3 out of those 3 guys have had higher than half of a total base in their game. So they got at least 1 hit in game 3 with their new team. Just something I'm monitoring and something I want to share with you because these numbers do kind of show up a little bit with my Dong squad. But before I get to the Dong squad, I'm just going to remind you one more time, sign up for Underdog with promo code DailyDog. Take advantage of the fish that are playing best ball right now. And if there's tons of resources. Listen to the Sports Gambling Podcast. Listen to Sean and Ryan as they break down every NFL team and look for value on that board. Best ball, and if you never played best ball, you've only played like home league fantasy and everything like that. Best ball is awesome because you draft at the beginning of the year and you don't have to set lineups. The best players on your team are the ones who score. So if there's 3 eligible wide receiver, or there's 3 wide receiver slots on your team, for example, and you have 7 on your bench, whoever the 3 highest of those 7 are who's going to count to your score that week. So it's a cumulative game. You get more points, and you'll be winning at the end of the season. So sign up for Underdog promo code DailyDog. Really helps out the show, and it's a good way to get some free entries into best ball on Underdog this NFL season. All right, the Dong squad, the home run picks. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to do something with these guys who are playing with their new teams. I'm taking Lane Thomas higher than half of a home run. He knows Trevor Rogers well. He's hit 2 home runs off of him again. Rogers is making his first start. At least he's supposed to be making his first start for the Orioles. And like I said, Lane Thomas, he's in that sweet spot of starting his second game with his new team. Other guys who hit a home run in their second game with their new team was Christopher Morel, but he also did that in his first game. And then also Jazz Chisholm did it. And, like I said, a lot of the guys are just really, really productive in their second game with their new team once they kind of get used to the clubhouse a little bit. And like I said, Lane Thomas wants to impress on this Guardians team. And I think that he is a good place to go on this slip on a short MLB slate. Next, I'm going to Jake Berger of those terrible Miami Marlins, a team that is hardly an MLB team at this point, but who is an MLB player? Jake Berger. And you know what pitcher he's facing? Charlie Morton, who's allowed 7 home runs in his last 4 starts. People are going yard against him. It's going to be a little bit of a tricky wind day, but I don't think it should be it shouldn't be blowing too hard in. It might just be blowing a little bit hard to the left, but actually it's under 10 miles per hour, so it's probably not going to affect a guy like Jake Berger all that much. And again, he's a guy that's still delivering for this team. He's a guy that's not going to give up on the season. He's going to try hard every single day. And the big Berger man has power to go yard, especially a guy who's allowing the hard contact that Charlie Morton is. Next, we are going to be fading Kiter Montero, who has been a disaster for the Detroit Tigers, but they were sellers of the deadline, so they're still rolling him out there and hoping that he turns a corner eventually. Doing it against these hitters on this Royals team, not a good spot to get right. That's my take on it. So I have Bobby Witt Jr. in this slip to hit a home run. He had 10 or something in July. I don't know off the top of my head. I've been more busy tracking the two Oakland studs in July. So Bobby Witt Jr. higher than half a home run versus Kiter Montero. Montero has allowed 10 home runs in 36.2 innings pitched this season. So he allows a home run in less than every 4 innings he's out there. Bobby Witt Jr. should get at least 2 at-bats versus Montero. So I am going to be taking Bobby Witt Jr. on this Dong Squad slip. If you put these 3 plays together on a flex play and it goes 3 for 3, you'll get 73.12x your money. If you put $2, or if you get 2 out of 3, it's 9.75x. So again, with these Dong Squads, they're always long shots. They're hard to turn a real profit long term on, but I've been all right with them. So I am putting a couple bucks on it, nothing too crazy, and I would not recommend you put anything high or don't risk a lot on your Dong Squad. So again, the show slip is Sonny Gray higher than 5.0 hits allowed, Ian Happ higher than half a total base, and Jarred Kelenic higher than half of a total base. That is a 3.18x multiplier. The Dong Squad, one last time: Lane Thomas, Jake Berger, Bobby Witt Jr. 3 for 3 is 73.12x. 2 out of 3 is 9.75x. That is all I got today. Let's make some money.